Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from our shows focused on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. First up on Pitt Sports Zone, Claflin University softball head coach Ricky Holden talks preparation for this upcoming season. Also, check out highlights and press conferences from the Wizards' loss against the Utah Jazz. Then, we hear from more top prospects and NFL executives as we check out the coverage from this year's NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Lastly, Candi Waller recaps the 2026 NFL Combine on all Burgundy and Gold everything. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what it is, man. I'm your host, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live yet again. We got the coach Ricky Holden, Claflin University head softball coach. The Panthers is in the house. How you doing today, Coach?
Good. How you?
I'm good, man. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, man. It's been a little bit.
Yo, man. So we about to see each other in a couple of weeks, so I can't wait. It's exciting. I can smell the softball grass in the air. Listen, we going to jump right into it. But I think last time, man, I had a different format. I didn't get to ask you all the questions that I'd ask everyone else. So I want to start you off a little different, give you a little icebreaker out there as well. I'm not sure if I did it. So if you can, what's your favorite food, Coach?
My favorite food is going to be hibachi. I can eat hibachi any day, all day, anytime.
Hey, listen. I'm with you on that one. Some scallop and some steak and scallop.
Man.
Okay.
There's something about how it's cooked on the grill.
It's crazy, man. They just opened up a all-you-can-eat hibachi here in Maryland.
Okay.
Crazy. Matter of fact, do you guys come to Bowie State this year?
No, we don't, but I'm going to be in Baltimore this year.
Oh, well, listen, I'll make sure I get you the name of that spot in Bowie. So what is your favorite vacation or a dream destination trip?
Mexico always, man. It's just something about Cancun, about being on the beach, that relaxing, just all-inclusive. You don't got to worry about nothing. You get up, do what you want to, eat when you want to, relax when you want to. Just put me by the water, but Mexico always going to be a go for me, always.
Is there a particular location in Mexico, like a resort? Like I know a resort, it's a adult-only, adult-only resort. It's like that. I'll give you the name afterwards because I ain't giving them no free promo on the set. Lastly, man, do you have a favorite professional team?
What sport?
Football.
Man, they be making me mad, but I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, man. They get on my nerves, but I'm riding.
I understand your frustration. I understand it. And then y'all just so happen to send y'all old coach to Pittsburgh like we wanted him.
Yeah, and listen, I don't know. Look, you better I'll just keep it Mike at that point.
Bruh, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it no more. My anxiety's starting to kick in again. Welcome back, man. It's been a minute since we sat down. It was after the 2023 championship game that I believe that we spoke.
Yeah.
2024, I'm sorry. And let's just go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's start with this current team now looking into the fall. When, looking back at your fall practices since fall ball started, what growth and improvements have you seen in your team's performance and chemistry?
They're more locked in. I feel like that team bonding, their team gelling. That season, after you talked to me, it was 11 freshmen, 1 senior. So I got 9 juniors on the roster, 3 seniors on the roster. So it's more leadership across the board. Those freshmen, those seniors and juniors, them been to the championship, they know what it feels like, but, we keep coming up short. So they get taste it and like, yeah, we got to do something better. Like, we got to work harder. just to get there, have that mentally, and just be there.
When you said you got more upperclassmen this year, and you talk about the chemistry. How has it been allowing and watching those upperclassmen take the reins and pass it down to the underclassmen, and how the culture is supposed and how the practices are conducted?
I think they've been doing well with it. Of course, getting freshmen in, they trying to learn the system, trying to learn how to navigate with school, understanding like, hey, this is different from high school. Like, you got 6 a.m. workouts, you got individuals during the day, then we got practice in the evening, then you got to go to study hall, you got to go to your classes. Like, so it's basically like taking them under their wing, gelling them, and getting them ready just to even come out for practice, but then pushing to say, hey, you got to level up. Like, we compete on a higher level, so you got to catch it real fast. So it's like, we're gonna give you a little grace, but we expect you to catch up to us.
Can you share any moments during fall practices, or even some of your fall ball? Any moments or standout moments that you have seen, just from practice to the game, regardless of wins, loss, because fall is the preparation, is getting yourselves. You got freshmen coming in. You're getting them integrated with the college taste of ball as well. Can you share any moments that you've seen in your team where you've looked and was like, okay, we definitely improved in this area in which I was looking for. Now we can add to it, but start to focus other places.
Yeah, I want to say when we played South Carolina State in the fall, like, the defense and the pitching was gelling. Like, everything was on point. Like, we basically went into the 7th inning battling with them about everything with our defense, making the plays when we needed to be all right. My pitchers are on point. My defense is on point. So now a lot of the stuff we need to worry about is our offensive game and how our strategy going to be for offense, and go from there.
Talking about South Carolina State, I believe they're one of the schools that will be at the HBCU Invitational, Softball Invitational in Covington, Atlanta this year. And last year, I believe you played in the HBCU College Invitational. What was those moments like for your team last year, playing against those D1 schools, and how did you feel that it has contributed to some of the success in the competition amongst your team?
I really believe, like, us going to that tournament last year, it was only us in Fort Valley in it, so we had to play up. So it basically showed my team, like, hey, it's like when you doing travel ball. You're 16U, you want to play 18U or all high school. So it's basically what we did. Like, hey, we're looked at as the D2 school. We're playing the D1 school, so the expectation is for you to play up and play at a high level competition. So when we played those games, like, the atmosphere, once they got the jitters out, I'm like, hey, we can compete like at a high level and just gel through it. So it gave us a lot of background on us to show us, like, hey, when y'all really want to play, y'all can play. Like, it ain't no, we don't know. Like, no, you just not finna just beat us. It's what we always say, like, we'll show you respect because of who you are, but we ain't afraid. We gonna come and play. So that's just the mindset. But my team mindset is, for your team to beat us, you gonna have to beat us. We just ain't finna just lay down and say, oh well, you're a high level. Like, nah, you're gonna have to just straight beat us before you take that W.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, great minds think alike. That was something that Coach Powell has said as well. We respect everybody, but we ain't scared of nobody.
Yeah, man.
And the thing that I love about the competition within women's softball is that you can tell. It's the camaraderie and the continuity that you see on the bench. It's the chants. It's the support that they give, whether they're in the game or not. And when you talk about playing up, last year you said it was only you guys in Fort Valley. This year is you guys, Fort Valley, Virginia State, Bowie State. You got the SWAC, you got the MEAC. I think it's a total of 23 teams.
Yeah.
What part about the Invitational are you most excited about participating in? And what are your goals for the tournament this year?
I'm really excited that it's a safe space for majority of the HBCU softball programs to be in one location. Because it brings everybody in one spot. That gives the fans multiple teams to look at. They're like, yo, I always want to watch them play. Now you have that opportunity just to
Yeah.
see and everybody play. Like we at one complex, and then it's another. The other part is at a different complex, but they say it's like right down the street. So it brings everybody together. It's like a whole culture thing. Like HBCU softball is culture, it's energy, it's the chance, it's all of it. Like you just don't know, and then softball as a whole just growing
Yeah.
itself brings more spotlight. So now I think the biggest part for me, it gives everybody who's looking to get recruited to be
Yeah.
in one level, to really see like, do I really want to play for them? Like, can I play up to that level? And you'll see
Right.
good competition because it's like everybody's coming with their A game with that because now we are all in one spot.
When you challenge your team, to play at a level where it's supposed to be a notch above yours, and regardless of win and losses, but when you see your team fight and compete, what does that say to you as a coach about your team?
It shows everything, the grit, as they say. My players would say when recruits come, like, what do it take to be a Lady Panther? They're like, you got to have that dog in you. Like,
Yeah.
it shows that they can bring it out. It shows that when we play on that level, like, this is your full potential.
Yeah.
So now it lets me know you can really play to this level. So when we have our days and we playing down, you already showed me what you could do because you stepped up to the
Yeah.
competition. So let's never step down because of you feel the other team we playing against not good enough. It's you're doing the same thing we're doing. We're playing up, they're playing up. So
Yeah.
they look at us like if they can play with us, we good. So you have to have that same mentality all the way around. Like you can't take nobody lightly. Like that's when you get beat.
when you overlook an opponent, you let down your guard, you become lax and relaxed, and that's when the upset starts to happen. Since taking over the Panthers in 2022-2023 year, what are the key cultural and competitive foundations that you focused on?
With me, my background military, so I brought a lot of my military structure with me of how I run the program. Just always on time, being accountable, owning any and everything. If you make a mistake, own up to it, because that's what we're
Yeah.
looking for. Ability, knowing that you got to put in that extra work. Just being able to gel and work hard. Like they know I'm gonna push you to that level, but they also know I'm gonna care on a whole nother level. Also, you just gotta show me that you're gonna give me your all, and you'll get the same thing back from me. So it's like it's a give and take. How culture here, and as they say, my team is very spoiled, so they get so much gear, uniforms, man. Like because I feel like they're working and they're earning it. Like we're putting
Yeah.
in the doing what we need to. So to me, it's like you got to reward the good, and
Yeah.
when you address it, and we work on it to get you back to the good. So it just keeps them dry because it's like we're playing with it's a female sport. You have to keep them going. It's why do I want to keep playing? Why do I want to keep playing for you? Like
Yeah.
what are you doing to make me say, "Yep, this is the place I want to be. This is the coach I want to play for." So it's like that give and take and then just listening to it. And then the other side of it is like I'm big on that mental health side. So
Mm.
something we did, what I did this year, and it wasn't even something that was supposed to blow up the way it did. I gave
Yeah.
everybody wristbands. So like these bands here. So
Okay.
it's 3 sets. The pitchers and catchers have a set, the infielders have a set, the outfielders have a set. And what the band is a buy-in band, but it's also a mental health band. If
Mm.
my players don't have on a band, I automatically think they're going through something. So what I do
Wow.
is when I see it, you can tell me something's going on, or you just keep it to yourself. But it also lets me know when you're having a bad practice. All right, well, she's dealing with something. It's okay, but they have
Yeah.
2 days to be nonverbal. On that second day, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, you good? Like, do you need to
Yeah.
talk? What or what? And they also have that free way to say, Coach, I'm just having a bad day. Like, can I take a day off? Yes, you
Yeah.
could. But after that second day, we got to level it up, and then they put the
Yeah.
band back on. But it also helps your teammates know, hey, she might be dealing with something. She don't got the band on. Like, let's be cautious of what it is. But they also, what we did, another team bonding, they learned how to communicate with each other. They learn to who's in what color. Like it's random. You might hear they be like, "Hey, orange," is because they know what color each other are and how to communicate with them and how to respond with them when they're in certain situations. So it's easier to deal with those things, but that's a non-verbal way of knowing, hey, I'm struggling today. And
Was it a record for rebounds for a rookie? He was all over the place. Terrific. That's why he was here. We were short on bigs. Our scouting department identified him. We've had him in our system before because of the draft stuff, and I thought he was like a one-man gang out there rebounding. He was terrific. Credit to him.
Is it common or uncommon for a rookie to be thrown to the fire the way you have with him and be able to play the level of minutes and hold the stamina that he has? I think he's averaging right around 31 minutes.
Yeah, that just shows you we were correct with the professionalism, the type of people we identify, the one we want in our building, and he's showing that, and that's a credit to him.
With the game, where do you feel like things kind of got away from you guys?
We had a hard time controlling the dribble tonight. I thought was the biggest thing. Their dribble penetration, getting to the basket. I thought we scored okay, but it was just their penetration. Collier, some of those guys getting downhill. We didn't protect off the initial drive, and then our shell wasn't tight enough.
Hey, Coach. Will Hardy said before the game that Trey's one of the only guys where you really do have to pick him up really far from the basket. How does having him out there just change the defense, just from your perspective?
All right, so we got two Treys now. Which Trey are we talking
Trey Young,
about?
yeah, we got to handle this.
Okay, yeah, we got to figure out how we handle these two. You saw the type of passes he made tonight. We know the shot making ability. To me, was the stuff that he was finding guys and how he made the game easy for others. Leaky Bilal making threes, Trey Johnson making threes, the ability to get into the paint. his ability to draw fouls we saw. Great first step. Like I said, this is early in the process, but I was just really happy for him to get back on the court. Like he's only played 10 games this year. It was just fun to see him out there.
Yeah, his first bucket of the game, he just seemingly walked right to the paint, scored at the rim. How big is it just to have someone in your backcourt who can just space the floor while also just getting to the rim like that?
Yeah, I talked about that before. You have to guard him all over the court. So if he's off the ball, people have a tendency to drift towards his direction. I thought that opened up. I saw that tonight, opening up driving lanes for others. Where I'm happy to have him for sure.
Okay. Brian, you mentioned the threes that he created. How about specifically in transition with some of the kick-ahead passes?
Yeah, that's one of the things he talked about. He said initially, you could see that the few times he's had it last couple of days in practice was he looks to kick it ahead. That's a great skill that people want to run when they see that, and people want to get out because they know that you're going to get the ball, and you could see that tonight for sure.
And the Trey connection, what do you think of it tonight?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Josh. Brian, I'll ask you a more basic question. How did Trae Young look tonight to you?
I thought he looked pretty good for a guy who hasn't played in a long time. Thought he was moving really well. I thought he was pretty quick, changing directions, doing the stuff that drove me crazy, running defenses for a bunch of years. I thought he was pretty good.
And I know you have much more important things on your mind, but did you notice a special kind of energy and a special buzz in the crowd tonight because of his debut?
Usually I'm pretty locked into the game, as you guys know me well, but I did feel that presence tonight. You felt the electricity in the building. Our fans have been terrific this year. I'm glad they came out to show support to him, but you could definitely feel that.
Kenzie. Brian, at the beginning of the third quarter, Trae went out of the game for 2 minutes after he fell. What happened there?
Yeah, he got hit right in the face. First of all, I'm surprised that wasn't called a flagrant. We do it with all of our guys. He got hit right in the eye. He has to shoot that free throw, so because he wouldn't have been able to come back in the game. So we have him shoot the free throw. We check him quick. He was clear, right back in the game. So we always put our players' health and safety first.
And in either the first or second quarter, I don't remember when it was, but you mentioned the kick-ahead passes with Chase. You called a timeout for one of those.
Yeah, he caught me too quick.
Okay.
He threw that too quick. By that ball, that was out of his hands. I would always call it. It was like, oh man, but that stuff happens.
Jared.
Looking forward to when you finally get the full team healthy, how well do you think Juju's rebounding can translate alongside Alex Sarr and Anthony Davis?
Yeah, you guys have heard me say I just focus on day at a time. I can't look out too far in the future, but you can feel his presence out there, and that's why he's here. We're down numbers, down size, and we needed a body who can come out there and do the things that he's doing, and he's been terrific.
Josh.
With Trae Young, obviously we know what he can do on the court, but just as a leader, as a veteran on the court now that he's actually playing, what kind of difference do you think that made with the team tonight?
Guys like that, they generate energy and build confidence for their teammates. There's an energy that he plays with, selfishness he plays with. That stuff's contagious. You could feel that with our passing. Obviously he's a scorer too, but his unselfishness is a form of that stuff I really believe is contagious. The ball was moving well tonight. I was really pleased with that.
Megan.
I'm curious, I know I asked you about the off-ball movement pregame, but the ramp-up of Trae, how much do you think that plays a role in a guy like Bub being able to play off of him, a guy like Trae being able to play off of him, in the minutes that you saw tonight, in that lead-up to him being able to debut tonight? How important was that?
Yeah, I think all that stuff's important. It's going to take time to learn, chemistry and those things. That's normal, and that's normal for any team when someone gets introduced, but for a first game, pretty good.
Finish the field. Just go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to say with regards to Trae Young, I was wondering if maybe he'll get more play time in the coming games, or in how much of a factor did, of course, him getting hit in the face and other things that you've observed on court play a role in him being put out for extended periods of time?
He wasn't out for very long. Our guys did pretty quick work with him in the back. He was back in the game quick. We talked about he was going to be on a restriction. And that's because he hasn't played that many games this year. And we're always going to put our health and safety of our players first. We do that with everybody in our team. So nothing's going to change with that.
Hey, Juju. I actually covered you at Maryland a few years ago when you guys were on the junior young tournament team. How has your game changed since then? How have you evolved?
I feel like physically I've become more mature, just growing my body and taking care of stuff off the court like diet and getting in the weight room and stuff like that. I feel like I've elevated my game and locked into that a little bit more. My confidence has grown. I'm just becoming more confident. That comes with gaining more strength as well. And I feel like I'm just becoming more mature, and my feel for the game is growing as well, and just feeling for different things and making the next move and the quick decisions and stuff like that.
And when you see that you have a backcourt that's now led by Trae Young, how does that open up opportunities for you to get your game off?
It opens up a lot. I like to start my game by rebounding. Trae gets them up, a lot of threes up, so I just see that as more opportunities for me to get rebounds. So I mean, with a guy like that on the team is a great opportunity for me.
As you mentioned, rebounding is a skill of yours, but to have 20 in an NBA game, I mean, what do you attribute that to?
I'm just hustle, just winning it. Not really the biggest guy out there. Just having heart and just doing what you do best and I was just trying to just master and do things I'm already good at. Just not trying to do things that they don't want me to do and just trying to do my job highest level.
I know you told me you were trying to maximize your minutes with Raptors 905. Now you're with an NBA team getting a lot of minutes. So what's been your approach in that regard?
Yeah, first couple games, just trying to get my feet up under me. Not used to playing that many minutes. I feel like now I'm a little bit more comfortable toward the game and just different opponents and different feels for the game. Everybody out there is a threat at the same time, and just taking that into account and just doing my job at a high level. That's what I'm trying to go out there and do.
Agreed.
Hey Juju, the Wizards, they're a team that are willing to develop players. What about this situation has allowed you to kind of get comfortable? Does it help you play more freely, knowing that is their focus?
Yeah, definitely. I just talked about this with somebody else. It's just a great group of guys. Got a little bit of young guys on the team that I'm familiar with, and Cam and Bub and stuff like that. I've played AU with and stuff. Got older guys like AD and Trae Young that can just really help me, and I've been nothing but a sponge since I've been here to both of those groups.
How has it been sort of reuniting with Bub? That's who I've seen you talk to the most, so what's kind of his advice been to you?
Just play my game. Him and Cam say the same thing. Just play my game and be aggressive, not be timid out there. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm still a rookie, and it's just all about getting better right now.
Jared.
Going back to the rebounding, big game tonight, and congratulations on that. You talked about the want-to behind it. Do you consider rebounding more of a skill or more of a mentality approach?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. It takes a lot of heart to do it. To do it at a high level, I feel like it's a lot of skill. I mean, a lot of want to do it and things like that. And other things, it comes with experience and knowing where the ball comes out the rim, knowing where guys want to shoot, and knowing when the shot's going up, and just kind of being able to wedge guys under the rim, and a lot of technique that comes with it. I've been doing it since college, just trying to impact the game in any ways, and I feel like I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm working towards that and just trying to I'm trying to make that my niche.
Ben.
Hey Juju, for a guy that grew up locally in the area here, Wizards basketball had a pretty prosperous run when you were younger. Now you're kind of a part of this culmination here of this team rebuilding. And tonight was a big night for this franchise with a guy that was a four-time All-Star being brought in. What does it mean to you to have as big of a night as you did on a night that's really big for this franchise's future?
I mean, it's great. All glory to God for this opportunity. Just playing like that with such a great guy on the court, as you said, is a blessing in itself, and I just give it all to God.
Brandon, go ahead.
Juju, I know you received some advice from some of your folks on the team today, but for young people that are paying attention to you right now, what are some advice that you can share for them after experiencing your first start this week as well, and now having a career high after this game?
Yeah, just stay ready. Got the call about the opportunity with the Wizards on Thursday. I had to fly back to Canada or whatever and pack all my stuff on Friday. Got here Saturday for a game, and it's just kind of all been all over the place. Started on Monday, and just trying to take advantage of everything I'm getting handed to me. So just doing that, and if you do that and just take care of business off the court as well, you'll be fine.
Josh.
Juju, you haven't, as you just described, you haven't even been here a week yet. What's been the highlight?
The highlight, I'm not sure. It's just a lot going on right now. I guess being able, I've kind of not even grasped what's going on right now. Just it's all moving fast. Just trying to play my game right now. Just trying to get comfortable and get stated here in this new culture. And I'm just grateful.
And tonight, at what point in the game did you feel like you had it rolling, that you were at your best?
When I had got that dunk out the rebound, I was like, oh yeah, I'm here now. Like I just dunked the hell out of the ball and I just felt it. And yeah, it was just great from there. Why not?
All right. Welcome to Indy. Thanks for being here. And before we take any questions, I have one little small piece of news, which bittersweet but very happy for Tim Gribble. And I don't know if you guys know this yet, but Tim Gribble, who's been our director of college scouting for really worked for us for almost a quarter of a century, been an outstanding employee for long before I got here. He had a great opportunity about a month ago, and he's going to Pittsburgh to work with the Steelers and Omar Khan. It's a really cool deal for him. It's his hometown, his wife's hometown, and so really excited for him and his new opportunities. But I just wanted to take this moment to thank him for all he's done for our organization. It's been when I got there, he was just outstanding, helping me out however he could. Salt of the earth guy, like you can't find one person that does him well. And so he'll be sorely missed, but I just want to wish him well and thank him for all he's done for our organization. And hopefully we don't get into too many head-to-head battles, but really happy for him and his family. So that's really all I got for the news, and I'll just take you guys' questions now.
Is there a replacement plan for Tim internally, or are you waiting until after the draft?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ben. And right now we're just going to absorb that with a bunch of different people until we get out to the draft, and then we'll look at we have some really good candidates internally, and then we'll look at some external candidates to fill that role in. But big shoes to fill, but we'll be excited to do that.
Adam, this is the second time in your tenure with the Washington Commanders that you've had a top 10 pick. A little bit different situation than your first year. How are you approaching this versus the previous situation?
Well, hopefully the same. But yeah, I mean, every time you approach everything the same, and you want to really uncover every stone and do all the work on all the different possibilities, whether that's, you stay in pick, you trade back, you trade up, and you want to be sure you have all your bases covered, because you don't know what's going to happen on draft day. If the team, wants to trade up from 27, you have to be ready for that. Like, who's going to be there at 27? Is that worth it? Or do you want to trade back, not as far, or all those things. So every process is very similar. We want to make sure you cover all your bases, know everybody in the draft, not just the guys that are the top 7 or whatever, because you never know what's going to happen. So, but we're working really hard. Our college staff's been grinding since it's really August in the summer. So we have a great kind of setup right now, and we're just getting into that after we get into free agency, really digging into the draft. But those guys have been doing work all year, so we'll be ready to go.
You're looking for, and at the same time, how much does kind of the short arm length versus long arm length matter to you when you're looking at that?
Yeah, I think, answer the first question, evaluating the edge, just guys that, fit your scheme and your profile. And we have a new scheme this year with Durante, and so, but I think a lot of that stuff carries over. If you're a really good pass rusher, you're always pass rush is going to weigh more than run defense, especially the way this league is. But, ideally you want Myles Garrett. That's who you want, but there's only one of those guys walking on the face of the earth. So, but a lot of those same traits, right? And, long, fast, explosive, turn the corner, can finish, all those things. In terms of guys with shorter arms, and there's a few in this draft that are really, really good players, it's, arm length is, I could go into days on this arm length thing, because every time you measure somebody's arm, it could be 30, 31, 32, 33, just depending on who measures it. So you get a pretty good idea of how long their arms are with that, but you really, how well they play with whatever length they have. Some guys have shorter arms that play with great length and extension all the time. Some guys have really long arms that don't use their length as well. So, it's great to have that length, but it's also how they use it and how it comes out on the tape. And so some guys can excel with shorter arms by doing things differently, but, ideally you always want to have err on the side of a longer person.
The two longest tenured offensive coordinators who call plays are going into their second year. How do teams build any kind of continuity in offensive identity with what's going on in offensive
Yeah, I think it's hard, but I think that's just this league, and we have, 10 head coaching changes, so there's just always going to be turnover and volatility just based on the way this league is built and run, and a lot of teams have done really well. Like you look at the Patriots, they got to the Super Bowl this year with the new coordinator, albeit a really experienced and good one. So it just matters, how quickly you can implement that. And so, when you do that, what's your plan? Like how are you building that for success with the players that you have, starting as soon as you hire them? How are they building the installs? How are they teaching it? And how quickly can the players learn and adapt and excel in it? So, yeah, sure, it's hard. It really is, but that's our jobs.
As a follow-up to that, Jaden's still pretty young, and what considerations do you take into that OC decision when you're dealing with a quarterback who's still within his first 3 years in the league?
Yeah, I think, with Jaden, all of our decisions are really in consideration of him. And this one, especially with keeping David Blau and their history for the last 2 years of working together. So that helped a lot, and that gives us a lot of confidence. They have an incredible working relationship, and David's an incredible coach. So that will help speed up the process for sure, where you don't have the getting to know kind of trust building factor. That trust is already built. So that'll really help us moving forward. But I think that's everything we're going to be doing is going to be with Jaden in mind.
Adam, the expectation is you guys are going to move on from Marshawn Lattimore. Have you guys made a final decision on that?
No, we haven't made a final decision there. There's a lot of things that go into that, and we'll still have a few more conversations, Ben. But until then, yeah, he's still on our team.
Will you replace Brian Johnson now that he's with the Rams?
The coaching staff question, I don't want to get too deep into that, but that's the plan, is to absorb that somehow, some way, whether it's internally or externally. But we've had some conversations about that. But really, what we want to do is make sure we surround David Blau with as many people that can help him as possible to ensure he has every chance of success. So, yeah, we'll do that.
Adam, not to pick at a scab here, but with a guy like Tim walking out the door, and with you guys' success with finding those late round gems and those guys being such good contributors for you guys on this roster, how do you compensate for that and kind of keep that evaluation and success rate going?
Yeah, it is a good question, and I think obviously it's not orthodox for a college director to leave at this time. So we will have our work to do, but I think in terms of Tim, I really, that was a personal thing for me too. When I was a college director at Denver, I got asked to go to the 49ers, which was my hometown team, and a great man by the name of John Elway allowed me to do that. And so I wanted to pay that forward, and I think Tim has earned that, more than earned that, really, with his 24 years of service to us. And so, that certainly is not going to be easy, but I really have a lot of confidence in our staff to make up for the next few months at least to pick up.
Now, Durante, in a different system, what's the challenge for you evaluating and bringing in talent?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, John, and I think it's going to be a little bit different in terms of the players we're looking at and looking for, and what we're looking for in those players. A couple weeks ago, after we hired Durante, and both him and David did an incredible job for us. They presented to the whole football staff, their vision for offense and defense. So David went first and talked about offense, our vision, our scheme, and then got into the particular players and what we're looking for in those particular players, and they painted a great picture for us. And Durante did the same, and it was really super impressive. First of all, those guys are both really, really smart, and really, really excited about them. But Durante did a great job of painting the picture of what we're looking at in this, and how the front's multiple, so it doesn't have to be, not just super specific, but if a guy can do multiple things, then the versatility is probably more of a premium now. But in terms of that, they've done an incredible job painting the picture for us and giving an idea of what we need to go do to help them find those players. So, and then now that's our job to go find them.
Adam, you've talked about how important Laramie Tunsil is to this team. How important is it to get that done before the new league year opens up?
I don't want to put a timeline on JP, but it is really important for us, and we've been having talks, and we've been having good and productive talks with Laramie and his team, and we're as motivated as ever to get that done, but I don't want to put a timeline on it. Obviously, I don't think either side wants to drag it on, but I don't think the league year is anything that's going to be a deadline of sorts.
As we've done, giving guys second chances, like Javon Kinlaw, guys that you know, is Brandon Ayuk someone that you would give a second chance to?
Well, Jennifer, Brandon Ayuk is a player on another team under contract, so I can't comment on that.
But second chances in general?
Second chances, yeah. I think everybody on earth deserves a second chance, and so with Kinlaw, I mean that was an interesting one. Kinlaw earned his second chance, and really, he earned every single bit of it, and so I wouldn't kind of call his a second chance, so to speak. I think because I had the familiarity with him and understanding the type of person and player and competitor he is, that helped factor into that decision. But I think he earned every single bit of that by the way he came back from his injuries and everything to be a really, really good player. So in terms of Brandon, love the person, but can't really comment on the player.
Speaking of players who are under contract, so a couple of years ago, probably the biggest question about Jaden Daniels at the Combine was just amazing player, is the style of play where it just took a lot of hits in college, obviously got to the rookie year, went great. Do you think that he needs to continue to tweak the style of play and just work on taking less hits, or do you look at the elbow injury as kind of a freak play?
Yeah, I think there's, some of these injuries, right, for anybody are freak injuries and things that would happen to anybody. But Jaden's well aware of, just being able to protect himself and understanding the importance of that and being available. And we've talked about this a lot, but he certainly understands that. And but it's not just on Jaden; it's on all of us. It's on our scouting staff to find the receivers and the linemen and the running backs to support him, so he doesn't have to do it all himself. It's on the coaches, with the way they coach him and what they call the plays we call in the scheme and everything like that. So it's a team effort, but certainly it is a premium to keep him healthy for sure.
How often is that communicated to him?
To him?
Yeah.
I couldn't put it. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but I don't know if there's a number on it.
Adam, you were back to Laramie for a second. You were talking about how you don't want to put a deadline on it, and the conversations continue. But that being said, are you determined to try to keep him out of free agency, given his position and the year he had for you guys last year, or is that not changing the dynamic?
Yeah, Laramie's under contract for this next year, so he's got one more year on his contract. Yeah.
Adam, the running back position.
Andrew Wiley, just talk about the motivation to bring him back for another couple of years.
Yeah, Andrew. One, I can't say enough good things about him, the person and the player. He's what we would call a true commander in terms of his work ethic, his competitiveness. He's an elite teammate, and he's super versatile. He can line up at 4 spots, so he's super valuable. I think he's still got enough talent to start, and so he was a priority for us to bring back. There's a number of those guys, but Andrew was at or near the top of that, and we're thrilled to have him back. And I just can't say enough good things about him. And the more of the guys like that you have, the better your team's going to be.
Did you learn more about him this year in particular, just with his versatility?
Pardon me?
Did you learn more about Andrew this year, just in terms of his versatility?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot about him this year, and just the type of human being he is. We had a contract that we had to restructure last year, and the way he responded to that was better than I could ever imagine myself responding like this. He is an outstanding person, a team first person, and so that was the first part. But just being around him for another year as a human being and understanding what he means to that room and to the offense in general, just really impactful in a lot of different ways. And then obviously, we get onto the field, and a lot of it's, first it's the selflessness of going wherever we need him to go to help the team, and then two, his talent and versatility to go to. It's really hard to move from left to the right, from inside to outside. So you have to have a lot of talent and just really a great work ethic to be able to do that stuff. So couldn't be more impressed with him as a person or a player, and really honored to be working with him.
So first, we got questions off the bat. You know what, Timothy? I want you to answer this question for Timothy. Here's a question for you. Why did the Commanders release Biotish? There you go. Timothy ain't playing. He ain't wasting no smoke. That's what I'm talking about, Timothy.
I mean, obviously they got somebody else they want. I mean, well, he did get injured. I do want to, back in December when he got injured, I know I was probably one of the reporters that felt like it was bad, right? Like this might be bad. But hey, I mean, Nick Allegretti can potentially play that role, which he did, you know what I mean? And that was something that I always knew was a possibility. Yeah. Right? In the 2024 season when Biotish would go in and out, Nick would he could play that role. He can. Yeah. And in some respects might even prefer it at times. But I would also say that there's a plan there now. That was a surprise. That was not, and I had to kind of laugh because last year combine, right? It was the Jonathan Allen release, which we had anticipated. Like everybody anticipated. I was there and I was tracking because remember this, Wole? That was all the talk about the Deebo Samuel trade. Yeah. I think we did a show and we were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, I think it's going down. Like it's going to happen." I just hope I'm here. I hope when it gets done, I'm still here. And I left when I landed. The news became public, but I remember having a few conversations like while I was at the airport, like, "Can I say it? Because it's about to happen." And I thought it had been announced earlier that Saturday, but it was announced that Saturday afternoon. So the two things that the team did during Combine last year were known. Tyler Biotish release? No. So that was a surprise. I said, okay, they kept that one. I mean, hey, nobody was asking really about the offensive line, maybe other than like Paul, but it wasn't anticipated. So all I can say is I thought the injury was pretty bad back in December. I'll say that. I'll also say there's potential that Nick Allegretti plays that role. And here's the facts. They have another option. They have a plan.
Okay. I mean, she's in the building now. Now you can say, "Hi, Mama Waller." Now, hey, Steven, now. Yes. Mama Waller, this is for you. I don't know if you saw this. I want to make sure because Steven was one of the more politest people ever. Like, real talk, Steven. You're a great dude for this. Steven has already came out and said, "Good evening, Mama Waller." So you're making sure. Like, my man Steven, Steven, I appreciate you on top. I appreciate you, bro. Like I'm all about respect, and I like that. I think that's a good character. That's a good character trait, bro, my guy. A very good character trait. Me take see, but yeah, Mama Waller here. You better take a step back. Tripping. Yeah. Now you can say hello. You tripping, Taj. Mama Waller get first. She gets first. She gets first stabs at it. You know what I'm saying? When we see her, we open up. We make sure she gets her flowers. But yeah, I don't know. Look. Allegretti can play center, but he don't play it better than Biotish. I know that much.
No, I don't think I mean, yes, can he play center? Yeah, sure. Yes. Yeah, he can but play I don't think that's not, I don't think that's the answer. What I think, I think there's a plan. I know that, because Bowie TV also covers the Ravens, the whole Tyler Linderbaum thing has been a thing.
The money. Yeah, it's been a thing, yeah.
That's been a thing. And there's others as well. The Bills had a center. I think there's options out there. So, and there's also some centers in the draft. Now, I don't want to get into that prospect because there is, there's a player, a tackle that's, that is, mocked to the Commanders. There's many players now mocked to the Commanders. I don't think they're going that route. But I just know we know well enough to know that they aren't going to make a decision like that, or anybody isn't going to make a decision like that without a plan in place.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree.
I mean, I think there's, and yeah, they said they, that was one of the things that Tyler Linderbaum was a hot name at Combine.
Yeah,
It was
very
a
hot
name that was attached to anybody that's got some money, and it is what it is. A market-setting deal, which was what Eric DeCosta shared with everybody, and literally that's when the numbers started rolling off people's tongue about this one happened to this and this one, and so that'll be an interesting bidding war to see how that happens. But it's an option, and there's other options as well. I think Connor McGovern, there's other options out there. But was it a surprise? Yes. And I think it says a lot. I think you go back and watch the film, there's a lot that can be said about the injuries that Jaden had last season, the what, the why, the how, what could have happened. I just think that there's more money, it's maybe it's a money thing. They can maybe find somebody cheaper.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think that's the issue I have with like this way of doing things recently of late. The same thing, that the issue of losing like a Jeremy Chin, and all of that. Sometimes, and even losing players in the past, the players that had success with this regime. You kind of play the we don't need you game, and then all of a sudden it's like, we missed that player, or we missed said player who helped because a lot last year, this line, other than like when injuries hit, when they got healthy, it started looking good when Cosme was back. They it looked really good. It looked like the hopeful spot going into this season. It looked like it, and now you're letting somebody, you let Biotish go, and now it's like, and that's a guy to me. I mean, on the line, he definitely wasn't your worst offensive lineman. And when he's healthy, he's probably one of your best offensive linemen. So it's interesting. I don't know where they're going. And then I've heard the Linderbaum talk, but that much money, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I respect a good center, but that much money allocated to a center, knowing that you got some guys that you're trying to wrap up, and Laramie Tunsil, and also, Chris Paul, who's out there, who's a free agent. I don't know if they want to bring him back or not, but those are guys who play at a high level, and I would rather allocate that money to those individuals than said center, especially when Biotish
paying. That's happening.
Yeah.
So I think it's somebody cheaper. That's what I think. I mean, I'm just going to tell you what I heard.
Yeah,
Tyler Linderbaum, that name all week long.
Yeah.
And the offensive lineman didn't perform until Sunday, to the last day.
Yeah.
That is a conversation, right? But to your point, well, like it was a bit jarring. Tyler's one of my people, right? It's one of my people, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
I thought he did well. I didn't have
very well.
I thought he did well the last two seasons.
Yeah.
And with everything, with all of the injuries and all the things, I mean, he held up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree.
Good, right? Until the very end, literally, of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
So, it will be very interesting to see where they go with this one. Again, they could draft one.
Yeah.
There are definitely centers in this draft. They could draft one, but I hear you as well, right? Like I said, there's Bill, is it Connor McGovern? It's a couple of available centers out here now. You don't have to pay that kind of money to. Paying more than $20 million a year. I mean, just stay with Baltimore as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm just being real. Like,
I mean, I get it, but it's like I don't at the same token, because there's so much more you could do with that.
There you go.
You want to draft one. My only thought is, where do you want to go this season? Where do you want to go? Because see, like last year, I can only speak for myself. You sold me on Super Bowl or bust. Even though I was looking at the roster, I was looking at the roster in the schedule, and was like, I don't, playoff bound, I can get with. But trying to repeat what you did for any team is difficult.
Yes.
Then the injuries started to pile on. I didn't feel like offensive line was your issue.
It wasn't.
I didn't feel that way. So this is very, very interesting. Yes, it gives you some money back in the cap space, but it's still like there's just a lot of movement on this offensive line, and that I'm not understanding completely. I'm still, while I was there, okay, I was there, and I get it. I still don't quite get Brandon Coleman losing his starting job, right? Like it's just a lot of different things. And now Chris Paul may very well, in fact, test free agency. Hey. So it's very interesting to see, especially since we know the injuries and what happened with Jaden last year, with just the injuries in general, that how important that front is. So
yeah, I just think that for me, like, this is the thing. I just hope they don't get so fixated in just because with Biotis it's obviously you're gonna save money, but cheaper ain't going to automatically mean better. You know what I mean? You can find something cheaper, but it may not be better. And the way he was a glue guy when healthy, he was a Pro Bowl caliber center. So you're not, they don't fall off on trees. I would say, like, if you can find a good prospect at center typically you can find a good prospect at center in the draft. You can. I'm not saying you can't. So I'm not going to say like you can't find a good center in the draft, and even in the later rounds you can find a really good one. But you got to be good at it. Like you got to hit. Like it's a crapshoot, but you got to hit.
It's something they obviously have a plan.
Yes, they have to have a plan.
They have to, because that is such. I spent, I don't know if this might have been something that I talked to you about one day, but I don't know if I ever talked about it out loud that much. Maybe I did. About how much time I would spend with Tyler Biotis. He's also one of the commanders, I guess now former commander, that I spent quite a bit of time with. Especially when the injuries were starting to happen along the line, when the injuries were happening with the quarterback, with Jaden, and just I would say the offensive line is such a thankless job, right? Hey, and so it's such a thankless job. It's something. It's
yes,
so
very
important.
thankless. I agree.
It is so important. It is so critical to the success of your overall offensive play. Definitely the play of your quarterback and of your run game. And I'm gonna tell you, there are some folks, and y'all know I know a lot of folks, but even from the beat perspective, I reached out to a couple people and I said, okay, tell me the truth. Did you know? And I know if they knew, they'd be like, yeah, I knew. They're like, no.
Yeah, because it's not. I'm not gonna lie to you. In the truest sense of it, and in the most blatant way of saying it, it don't make sense, to be real with you. And it just like, in terms of football sense, in terms of sports, and in terms of like the whole belief of we're doing everything for Jaden, it doesn't make sense. Like I would like
no, it doesn't.
Because your offensive line impacts your quarterback. I know it does your run game, but it definitely it's and the center quarterback situation is important, and that's a whole different thing. So
we'll see. Back and really looked at the film, and they were like,
maybe they were happy with something. I don't know. Maybe.
They were easily not be happy with something. Yeah. And okay. And if I'm being real honest, right? At first, as soon as I heard, first of all, if I'm being real honest, which I'm always going to do, and being transparent with you all, I was enjoying the linebackers at Combine. I was enjoying the show that they were putting on. I get a text, they're releasing Tyler. And I was like, which Tyler are you talking about? Because at this point now I'm tracking two teams. And I'm like, what Tyler? Because Tyler Biotis was the furthest from my mind.
Yeah.